Welcome to Show Me Your AI with Gilbert. Real AI examples from real companies with a semi-real CEO. There's two streams of AI material out there. One of these articles and headlines saying, here's what AI could do. Here's where AI is heading. Lots of theory, often from people who aren't actually building. And then on the other side, you'll see demos from builders at smaller companies or solopreneurs that aren't always practical or scalable for a medium or large size enterprise, like lobsters who have replaced their entire zero-person marketing team. In this show, we're doing neither. Today, we're going to dive into 10 tangible examples of work that you can do today from a real company with real humans and real bots. We have hundreds more still, so subscribe if you want to sign up and see the rest. All right, Casey, welcome. Let's dig in. Show me your AI.
Yeah, of course. I've been waiting for this. Okay, yeah. So super excited to show you some examples of how I've been using different AI skills at our company and different things that I'm doing in a day-to-day basis. So to start off with number one, sending an email with missed actions. I'm sure we've all been in meetings where someone was out of office or they missed different tasks and you want to send them anything that they might have missed.
Mhm.
So for this one, I asked Claude to grab a transcript from a meeting with Poppy and send her any missed actions using our style guide. And so this pulled our Brainlabs writing style guide, searched the Notion for meeting notes, loaded it, found the right Poppy to email. At the end, it found all of the different action items for her. So yeah, pretty basic example, but able to send her the follow-up actions with anything that she missed.
And the transcript was recorded in Notion, so it knows where to look within our taxonomy. And then the draft is loaded into your Gmail ready to send. So it's not actually sending the email for you, but it's sitting there for you to edit and then send.
Yeah, exactly. So all ready to go.
Excellent.
Take out a bunch of different steps, bunch of different platforms, and yeah. And then for the second action, so another hot topic for anyone that works at a typical company. How many vacations do I have left this year? Want to see the different number of different vacation days. So this was able to pull into a different integration through Bob, through our Notion page, which has all the details on how many different vacation days people get region by region. It was able to look up me and see exactly where I'm sitting, check how many days in my calendar I've taken off so far, and then tell me about how many days that I have left. So
Enjoy your vacation.
yeah, I've got about 18 days left. So let's see where I'm off to next.
This can look up both the Notion entitlement and a skill that's looking up vacation days, as well as your calendar to cross-reference how many days you've taken.
Something that you maybe had to dig around for in the past and now can just quickly ask Claude.
Mhm.
Another one, especially at a larger company like Brainlabs, we have 1,000 people. It's super useful to know what people have been posting about, understanding what our point of view on different topics is at the moment. So for this one, I really wanted to understand what's Brainlabs POV on AI SEO right now, and based on that, who maybe would be best for me to reach out to at Brainlabs if I was looking to learn more and needed to brief my client on a different topic. It looked up the different AI SEO relevant articles, told me what our current position is, why it thinks that, what sources it cited, and what it was looking up internally. And we have a Notion database where we store all of the different POV articles, so it specifically looked through that.
Nice.
And then it linked all these different articles that were written by Brainlabbers down here, and then told me who it recommended to reach out to based on who's been writing about it, who's been posting about it, etc. at Brainlabs. And then if I wanted to ask, and it actually looked up two different skills again. It used the BL writing style as well as the BL content POV.
Okay, nice.
Uh,
Simple.
okay, shall we move on to number 4?
Let's move on to number 4.
Number 4, Dan and I do work pretty closely, so I would assume that you pretty much know what I'm up to on a week-to-week basis, but it is still helpful to set up a scheduled task that reviews everything that you did this week and send your manager a weekly summary. And so this actually also pulled from a skill that I had created in the past wherein I wanted to send a weekly summary, but I made this company wide so anyone at our organization can use this now.
Yeah.
It went through and looked through my Slack and my Notion and all of my different transcript notes and everything, asked me what day it should send, what time it should send, if I want to review it first or auto send. And then it actually made a scheduled task for me. So it will just automatically send this to Dan every Friday at 5 p.m. It'll drop a Slack DM and say, here's everything that you've been up to this week. Am I all good to send this to Dan?
And the co-work that you're using here, it will look inside co-work at what you've done as well.
Yes.
So it's self-referential too.
Yeah.
It's not just Notion and Slack, but between Notion, Slack, and Claude, there's a pretty good coverage for what you've been up to over the week. Okay, Danbot will be back to you on that one.
Yeah, let's see what my review is for this week. If I was productive enough.
Cool.
And so then for number 5, another pretty simple example, but we all know how annoying it can be to book a meeting with someone and find an available time for everyone involved. So I said, can you book a meeting with Alice and go over how I updated her skill? So again, we used a book meeting skill as well as it looked in our Google Calendar and Notion for when we are both free.
Yeah.
And so I actually have updated the skill since then, where now it will automatically recommend, assuming based on who you work with, this is the Alice that you're working with. Ask me when I would like to meet, how long it should be, and
Yeah.
how we're meeting.
Got it. And it's like one of those things that is an invisible time sapper in many organizations, and especially when it's with more than one person, that it starts to get annoying. It's not like a life-changing example, but it saves you some extra time a day. It's
Yeah.
helpful.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
Yeah, and I know that even for Alice, what she does is that, if she wants to reach out and talk to people that she hasn't talked to in a while, she'll ask Claude, "Can you look at 4 people and just book in a meeting when we're both free this week?"
Nice.
For number 6, yeah, so now we're getting into some of the meatier stuff. So we have some people moving out to Florida in the near future, so I wanted to make a cost of living calculator so they could toggle and see different prices of how much it might cost in different places.
Yeah, because we've got salary tables, but that doesn't really tell people what it actually costs to live
Yeah.
somewhere, right?
Exactly. So once we click into this, we can see different salaries, different income tax.
And that is dynamically updating based on your tax band.
Yes, exactly. Dynamically updating based on that. If you want to do
Mhm.
different 401k, you can
Yep.
choose where you want to live,
Mhm.
luxury, mid-range, you've got a roommate or not, it'll dynamically update there.
Yeah.
And so then at the bottom, you can see, this is how much you'll have per month left over. Here's your monthly breakdown, etc.
I love this because it's quite niche. Like you wouldn't be able to get this from anywhere,
Yeah.
like by in open information, nor would anyone moving here be able to find or discover that information. So you could spend hours explaining that to someone and it wouldn't make sense.
Yeah.
So now it's quite like what's that, like half an hour work
Yeah, for
with
sure. Yeah,
iterations?
about half an hour of work, and then if someone else was looking at this and was like, "Oh, it would have been helpful if I could see the cost of this before I moved here," then we
Uh-huh.
can very easily update it and change that there. And then for task number 7, we have data analysis. I'm sure that this is a pretty common task for anyone in the majority of jobs. So in this example, I have a sample of our dev profile completion date, and I wanted to pull out different insights and trends from this data, some things I'm curious about, and here it gave me immediately, here's the first thing that jumps out. Manager completion rate is doing all the work. If your manager completed your profile, you probably
Yeah.
completed it as well. And just from giving it that one Google Sheet, it was able to pull out a bunch of different insights around region, practice, etc. So much less manual work from back in the day and some insights that I probably wouldn't have found if I was just doing the research on my own.
Yep. Got it. Okay. And we've now connected our data warehouse through BigQuery. So there's actually way richer data that we can look at than pure operating data.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, now we can pull through live time instead of just also having to like update this Google
Mhm.
Sheet all the time.
Nice.
For number 8, so I wanted to make a presentation on Brainlabs and why you
Hmm.
should work here, the agency that actually uses AI. And so here we can see that it was able to do this. It looks a bit funky when you're looking at it in this formatting. But once you actually see it in my Google Drive, we have created actually a custom MCP where this automatically loads into my Google Drive and we can click through and we can see that the font is Brainlabs candidate. Here's like a great guide and a great base presentation that before I feel like would have taken forever to build.
Yeah, this was one of our top requested because people in a knowledge working company or agency tend to spend a lot of time making presentations and slides, and it's one of the least favored
Yeah.
tasks, full stop. So
Yeah. When you're spending
this one is widely deployed, isn't it? It's like making me a presentation. That's great.
Yeah, this I would definitely say this is one of our top skills used at the moment. And then on a similar vein, so I didn't want to just make a presentation. I also wanted to make a one pager on why you should work at Brain Labs. So it also made everything in our colors and our formatting. So it used our own BL brand skill to make this. You can see that when it's in Claude, it's actually not loading our logo, but once you go to the page, you can see here's our
Mhm.
Brain Labs logo, very aesthetic. This was literally like 1 to 2 minutes of work, and I feel like this is a great one pager that I'd honestly be happy to share externally.
Yeah, and like previously, like every other company, it's quite hard to get people to design stuff that is meeting the brand guidelines, etc. And like not everyone is a designer, so one of our design engineers spent a lot of time like writing out the specifics of the style guide so that we could enforce standards. But, all right,
Now
for the grand finale.
to wrap things up with number 10. So another pretty common one I would say that most people deal with on a day-to-day or week-to-week basis, hopefully not too frequently, but once in a while you might miss different actions that you might have committed to. So we have another skill that looks across your Slack, your email, and pulls together any different items that you might have missed over the past week. So this was my full triage report. It looked through anything that might still be open. They're not sure if I committed. I likely did that task. waiting on others to finish that task, and then created this and could even create an interactive HTML checklist if I really wanted to. But that way, no excuses for missing
No
any tasks in the
excuses.
future.
Excellent.
Yeah, so those are 10 tangible things
Excellent.
that you can do today. Thank you,
Excellent
Claude.
showcase of your AI.
Yeah. Thank you. Very fun to show off my
And
AI.
actually, I'm well aware that that's 10 like quite basic examples, but it's a good taster.
Yeah.
None of this is a secret. It didn't really require a PhD. The gap isn't capability. It's that most people have not actually yet sat down and tested what's possible with these tools right now. So the one thing to do today would be open Claude, try one of those 10 tasks and see how much time you can get back, and then try the next one tomorrow. So stop reading about AI, just start using it. That's it from the Show Me Your AI today. Real examples from a real company with a non-real CEO. Signing off, Dan Gilbert. See you tomorrow, unless I run out of tokens.